You're watching this because you're on the fence. I have a lot to say to you, but I figured it'd be way better to hear it from our clients, people that have gone through the program, people that have been right where you are, knowing they need to make change, but very afraid and very anxious to take the step forward because of all the uncertainty. So rather than me try to walk you through and tell you all about why you should join, I'm just going to have our clients talk to you for me. And all I would ask of you is that you don't let fear run your life because perfect love casts out all fear. And we've not been given a spirit of fear. God does not want fear to control your life. Now, if He's calling you away from this, you need to obey Him. But if He's calling you to this, you need to have faith and obey Him as well. So I'll let the clients speak. This is 20 minutes of people just like you on the fence, scared out of their mind whether they should do this or not. But they all took the plunge, and this is what they have to say to someone like you. And by the way, I will introduce you to any single one of these people you want to talk to if that helps you as well. I make a personal introduction so you can speak directly to them.
What would you tell someone who's on the fence about joining Sword? Whether
Get
it's
off
the
the fence.
cost, the
No,
time
get off the
commitment.
fence. They talk the fence. No, yeah, okay. If they're hesitant though, yeah, I was once I realized all of the learning, the content is all there, right? It's like top-notch content. Like, genuinely elite because I already saw some of what else is out there. So I'm telling anyone else who's on the fence, hey, look, you should go do your due diligence for your own peace of mind. But like, I have looked at some of the content that's out there in other programs, other people, top quality content. And, it's always improving, right? So Jack, like speaking to you, like Jack is not like, this is it, this is what it's going to be. It's like always improving. You're always improving in the process. You're going to get the top quantity. You're going to get elite coaching. Like Jack was an incredible coach. For I think one of the most important things is that like belief in the candidate and the belief in the person that you're coaching. And like you said, like seeing that potential. And I felt that, and it was contagious and it gave me the confidence to go into places where like maybe to some people, like I wouldn't belong. I knew that I belonged there and I was able to communicate that and truthfully like convey it to the other people which is why I landed that role. So you're gonna get the elite content, you're gonna get the elite coaching, and the cost is like dwarfed by the opportunities. Like for me, the cost is now like inconsequential because I landed a role, which is, it's gonna make me way more money. It doesn't even matter. It's like literally what's it called, ashtray change, compared to where I'm going now for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and I think so. To me, the value is insane. So I won't do this, but maybe a little asterisk, Jad. Like I would pay you more if you, for more.
I would ask them if they really wanted a job, because if you really want a job and you really want to make it happen, you're going to invest in yourself, then this is what you should do. It's, get off the fence, I suppose.
I would say there's a reason why you're thinking about asking for help. I think deep down you're at that point where you realize that you can't do it on your own. And that was a big roadblock for me, as I kind of felt like I have to do everything on my own. I didn't want to admit that I needed help, but obviously it was a great decision. I don't regret it at all. And like I said, if you follow your directions, if you go through the programs, you're going to find success. I actually had a bunch of managers compliment me on my outbound, which was everything. I was just doing what you told me to do. So I definitely believe that if somebody follows your directions, they're going to get a job.
I would say get off the fence and join right now. It'll be the best thing you do for your career. I mean, for myself, obviously, I got a job. And for those who don't know, I have some stuff on my record that I thought would hinder myself to get a job at all. And that terrified me. And I thought, you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen? I joined the program. We work as hard as we can. And I don't get a job, but I learn a lot. Like Jackson's saying, 25 days of his program, I landed a job. I had multiple different opportunities as well. So get off the fence, join. I mean, I have testimonials, if you watch them, from my older brother, from my cousin. I mean, they moved to different companies, unsure of what they wanted to do and unsure how to make that move. Made that move in weeks' time. They're working now and they're loving life. So get off the fence, join. It'll be the best thing you do for yourself.
Just go for it. Like don't be on the fence. Like this program is gonna
It's going to help you. It's going to teach you a lot of stuff along the way. When I was hesitant to get on a call with you in the first place because, I'd worked in sales before this. And one of the things that I didn't want to be that person that, shows up and just be like, oh, I'm just here for more information. Cause I wasn't here for more information, but I was also not in the best place financially. So, I knew there would be an investment into this program. And I thought what would happen with our call is I would tell you my situation and, it would be, I'd hopefully come up with a plan with you to, save money over time and then, hopefully enroll in it further down the road. But we were able to figure it out right there on the call. And, yeah, I mean, if you want to get into tech sales, like I say just go for it. Like you'll benefit from this program.
Specifically in entry level or an AE level, like sales position, I would say definitely consider it and jump into it head first. But that's just because my experience with you has been strictly on the sales, like specific sales role.
Yeah.
But knowing the kind of person you are, if it was someone that you might not have connections with in a separate world, like, engineering or software or something like that, might be a little bit different conversation. But if it's someone that's looking for, that SDR or AE or any sort of sales facing role first, I think it's a great idea.
Hop off right now.
Great.
Get in, cut the time down, the learning curve. Like I'm having people say, like, just in doing cold call exercises, like, you seem like you've been doing this for a long time. I really haven't. I've been doing it for like a little over 2 months.
I would just say, do you want to get a job quickly and do you want to stand out and do you want to feel confident that you're the right person for the job? Then join the program, because I've thought about this so many times. Everybody else is probably floating through and maybe has some references, but this is a textbook way. Follow these steps, do the work, you will be rewarded. So I think it's it's a no-brainer. It's worth the investment, worth the time.
Don't be. I think my roles probably speak for itself. But again, it is really up to you in terms of how quickly you want to really go to the tech industry. It's going to do the kind of work that you could on. But yeah, it literally gives you above and beyond every single thing, every tool that you need to be successful, where it's really kind of like, if you don't land an opportunity, it's really up to you, essentially. So you have to really be willing to put in the work. And if you do, the results will speak for itself, because Jack literally gives you everything that you need. The tools included. I think that was another thing that blew my mind, is just the tool that comes with it as well will set you up for success to be able to learn an opportunity.
I think it's worth it to join because what I mentioned earlier, you kind of get the answers to the test beforehand. And then there's a lot of things that like you teach us that I wouldn't think about, that I wouldn't have thought to do, like sending the videos before the interviews and stuff like that. That slide presentation we made together, the director, he really liked that. Like when I showed that, his face lit up. I can tell he really appreciated it. So with the program, because Jack's obviously been an SDR manager with a lot of success, you see things through his eyes. So if you do that and then follow his advice, in practice as well, like a lot of the practicing on the question answers that you get good answers to give. So if you do that, you'll, and follow through with your own hard work, like just because Jack gives you stuff, you're still going to have to go out and, try hard and do the stuff. So when you combine those two things, it's definitely worth it in my opinion.
I'd say just trust your gut. I think that's something you maybe told me, or maybe you kind of implied, but was already had been in my head for a while. Obviously, I had already reached out to you. So something in my gut was telling me hey, this is sort of the right path. I need a change. I don't know exactly what it is, but Jack is clearly saying something that resonates. So get in touch with him. And as I spoke to you more and more, I was like, okay, I I don't know exactly where this journey will end, but I think the path is the right one. So just if it feels right, just go for it.
I would tell them, just do it. I told my friends I was joining a program as such, and they asked me how much. Told them the price. I'm like, and given the time frame that I'm at now, I would easily pay 3 times the amount. Like easily. It's insanely worth it. It's worth it. Just do it. Honestly.
I say don't be. I mean, I worked as an SDR for a little over a year at ZoomInfo. Thought it'd be easier getting a job than it really was, if I'm being perfectly honest with myself. Just thought, hey, I've been doing sales for 12 years. I got a great resume. Like my experience is my, top 1%. Like thought that would get me more in the door, but I mean, that helped. But it really came down to proving that I'm willing to do the work. I'm showing that out the gate, and Jack really helps with that. Gives you a good guideline, a good sequence, a good template to really stand out, but also will teach you the little nuances that you're not really going to figure out on your own. Maybe if you think you do, or it, there's always some detail that you can fine tune to improve. I mean, heck, when I was leaving Westmos, it was just a few choice words, a few tone changes that needed to happen. And I wouldn't have known those kind of details without having joined the SWOT program and being part of a community, be able to help others and get help in turn.
It can be difficult, especially where you feel like you're doing well where you're at, but just maybe look into the future and see how jumping into tech sales, you can go a lot farther up the totem pole if that's something you want to do. You just got to be willing to take that risk, and, it takes some time, but it can be very rewarding. I'd say do it. I think, just take that risk. There's a big reward, high risk, high reward, but just take that risk and put all your effort into it, and you can make it work.
For somebody on that line, it's like if you're having a talk with Jack, I mean, you're going to run into a fork in the road where it's like either you do or you don't. You either decide that your status quo is like what you're willing to stay in, and like you're just willing to like settle for mediocre and like mediocrity, or you're going to take the choice of like actually making a decision. Like today is the day that I'm making change, and kind of like drawing that line in the sand. One of the things that I've seen is it's like, what do you want? And then are you willing to give up what you have now for what you want? Or are you giving up what you want for what you have? And you have to make the decision between the two. You can't have both.
Every day that you wait is one more day that you're not going to be doing what you really want to do in tech. So you can wait two more days. You can wait another week. You can wait 2 weeks. But every day or week that you wait is a day or week that you're going to be kind of kicking yourself in the butt in the future, saying, why didn't I do this sooner?
I'll be the first to say I don't like asking for help. I think I can do everything on my own. But, in my career in sales and in my life, when I ask for help, good things happen. And, if you're on the fence, I would say, reach out for help. Jack, the SWOT program is a huge resource, and it's, provided a consistent flow of interviews for me. And at the end of the day, I got to practice with a bunch of different companies. I got to learn the ins and outs of different companies, and, my business acumen has gone up, and, I ultimately landed the plane and got an offer.
How bad do you really want this job? How bad do you want to succeed in the job? And if you want it bad enough, you should hire Jack, because if you look at all of the, celebrities, Olympians, pro athletes, they all have one thing in common. They have a coach. And I think the coach takes you to a whole nother level. So SWOT will take you to a whole nother level. And I think that's why people should sign up.
If it's something that you really want to do, if, you're being skeptical about it, and you think that, this may not be for you, it doesn't hurt to try. And, with me, I'm 25 years old. So, I feel like I'm very young, and I still have stuff that, I need to learn. But just allowing for myself to step in that field and, sort of, place myself in that uncomfortable position, to help my future self.
I completely understand where they're coming from, because it wasn't long ago that I was also in that kind of mindset. I would say to question if there's even a fence, ergo, be really honest with yourself.
because I think the common thought tracks that people experience before they invest in coaching, and I definitely did, was time versus money. And being completely honest, what I've invested in this program is a drop in the ocean compared to what I've gotten out of it. I've actually saved way more time and I actually earned a lot more money. And then another fear that I'm sure a lot of people share that I did as well is, what if I invest in this coaching and it doesn't work out? I think that ties back into the belief that you need to take full ownership of your success. And to have some perspective, there are testimonials of people who have gone through the program and they've succeeded. So really think about what makes you so different from these other people. And if you truly, truly believe that there is a genuine reason why you're not able to succeed like everyone else has that went through the program, then I would actually challenge you to question that belief, because is it serving you? And is it holding you back? And if you do that and you're willing to work through it and eventually let it go, then you're just going to be better off.
Definitely do it. You know, just one of my favorite sayings as of recently is the proof is in the pudding. And definitely I was kind of on the fence about it just because of, you know, first, that trust. Second is that financial aspect. And, you know, the return of investment that you get is really priceless, just with the content that you're getting, the coaching that you're getting. And most importantly, I mean, the friendship between you and I is really, really like priceless to me. And just constantly checking up on your clients and your people is something that kind of always kept me going when I was at a low point in this job search.
Not too long ago, I was in a way on the fence, right? And I think if you're on the fence about joining Sword specifically, first off, do your research, right? Before we even begin, do your research, even if you want to be in tech sales in the first place. And from that, if you know that's what you want, then ask yourself this: how badly do you want to change your career and your life? You know, for me, joining was about taking ownership of my future. You know, the program gives you the tools, the strategies, and like the mindset needed to succeed, but you have to be willing to put in the work, right? And if you're serious about breaking into tech sales and you don't want to waste time figuring it out on your own, like I did, then I feel like Sword is 100% worth it.
The greatest investment you can make is in yourself, because like you are your best investment. Because when you go out into the world to get a job or anything, like you're selling yourself. So if you haven't invested anything in yourself, you can't add any value to anyone.
Just do it. Because I would say, if you're willing to put the work in and you want to get into tech sales, and you literally are committed to get in tech sales and, you know, landing a good job, it's like working with you is like fast pacing your progress. It's like, maybe you can find a role doing the job alone in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, but working with you can do it like in 1, 2 weeks. So for me, it's definitely worth. So for everyone that's in the fence of working with you, it's a like game changer working with you. So I would advise just have a conversation with you, meet each other, know each other better, and then just do it. And people are afraid to try something new. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if you don't try something new, if you don't see what's going on there, you'll never get something new back. And that's how I always operate. I'm in a position, should I do it or should I not do it? I will go about, you know, let's give it a try. But if I choose to give it a try, I go all in. because you can give them and you can give us the best tools, as I said. But if I don't do anything and I procrastinate, then it's on me. You know what I mean? So my advice would be just definitely do it.
So I'm really big in like alignment. So like foundation, character, integrity, mentality, gifting, all that stuff. And so when I came across you, like, man, that's a guy that's just in alignment, right? Obviously, you being a man of faith, I'm like, nice, let's go and plug in. So I'd say that was incredibly attractive. In regards to like people being on the fence, like you have to like first be self-aware, right? Kind of like take inventory, take stock, right? I think you've talked about it. And for me, it's a huge component, but like take extreme ownership over every facet of your life. And I mean, over the last 3 years, believe I've been doing and kind of maxing out the framework that I have now. But earlier this year was my goal to grow socially and financially. And so financially, I was like, hey, this is the right vehicle. So if you're on the fence, right, it's kind of like simplifying things. Like, who am I? What is it that I really want? What is like the cost and the sacrifice to that? And then kind of move forward from there. So that's kind of my process.
I would tell them to bring any questions to the table. I know, being transparent, after our first conversation, I left and I said, hey, I need a week to think on it, pray on it, talk to my wife. And I came back a week later and, we had half an hour, 45-minute conversation where we addressed the questions, you answered everything head on, and really just being comfortable and not afraid to ask those questions and really just take a big step. One thing I've learned throughout the last 6 months of my life is successful people invest in themselves. They invest in their future. If you talk to any leader of a big organization or even a local leader, one thing is they're always big on investing in themselves, whether it's through reading a book, a coach, or a program like this. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself and bring any questions to the table.
So there you have it. Every single one of these people were where you are right now, having to make a really hard decision. But life's hard. You get to choose your hard. Do you want the hard of where you currently are? You know it's not sustainable. You know this isn't where you need to be for yourself, for your family, for your future, for your children. You know you are scraping only a fraction of the potential of your life out of yourself right now. That's pretty hard. It's also hard to invest in yourself. It's hard to take a step of faith. I understand that. Your success is something I take personally because I am a believer that God will bring the right people into this program. It is a personal responsibility of mine to disciple you well, to shepherd you well, and to help you through this process. So look, question is back to you. What hard do you want? I'm here to support you if you do choose the hard of deciding to invest in yourself and making a career change.